Hello, everyone. Welcome back to OpenLine. Glad you are with us. We're talking elder law. We have with us Barbara McGinnis from Takacs McGinnis, joining us via Zoom from her office up there in Hendersonville. And as we went to break, I mentioned the costs of in-home care, the costs of nursing care. We go over this, I believe, every time you come on, but it always concerns me, and I think it's worth going over again. Yeah. What are you seeing as far as the costs of in-home care? Then we'll go to the cost of nursing care. You know, what are we talking about here?
Really heard from clients that in-home care is going up, like transit from $25 to $35 an hour for in-home caregiving. And that's provided you can find in-home caregivers. I have not heard too much yet about change in monthly fees at facility care. I would imagine that's going to happen about the end of the year, moving into the first of next year, because they're probably having the same staffing issues. Well, I know they're having the same staffing issues as the rest of the businesses, right? I mean, there's just not enough people working, it seems like, anymore, especially in facilities where staffing shortages have been, you know, part and parcel of the industry for I don't know how many years, 20 plus years that I was a part of it. It's always been an issue, but it does seem to be increasing. So the combat is probably going to be increasing pay for those frontline care workers, which is going to be a direct pass along cost to consumers.
And that's daunting when you hear that kind of cost per hour. And I know nursing home care is very high as well. So what should someone do? How do you pay for that?
Yeah, all of the whole list of public and private resources. So you look to family caregiving. I think I have seen a lot more an increase in families taking care of families, you know, the big happy family, we call it, where they're selling houses and moving in together in a larger home so that we can take care of grandma and grandpa for a longer period of time at home before they need placement. A lot more of that is happening. They find that it is collectively more economical to pay a child or grandchild to care for them than it is to pay that third-party person $30 or $35 an hour, or to go into an assisted living facility. If assisted living is going to cost me $5,000 a month, wouldn't I just rather pay my child $5,000 a month to do my meals, help me with a bath, give me my medicines, and generally make sure that I'm safe and secure. Now, it's a trade-off, right? I mean, every situation is going to have its advantages and disadvantages. The person's at home, you can feel good about their safety, you know, their meal preferences, when they like to get meals, but it then becomes very restrictive. Your life starts revolving around the care of this person. So it needs to be a huge, open, family sit-down conversation about the pros and cons of each one of these scenarios. Do we go to assisted living? Now, visitations in assisted living have not been as strict as the visitations in the nursing homes, and even some of those nursing home visitation, I'm talking about the COVID, the pandemic visitation restrictions, have eased some with CMS guidelines saying that some of those limitations can't exist. But it's still expensive, right? It's expensive in all kinds of ways. So just the dollars and cents is costly. And then the relationship tolls that it could put on a family.
Yeah, that's heavy stuff. Yeah. But a lot of people are dealing with it. Let's take some calls. Yes. Yeah, let's take some calls. Great. Let's go to Trisha. Hello, Trisha?
Yes.
Go right ahead. What's on your mind?
Yes. My question was, my mom has Alzheimer's and my dad is legally blind. And my question is, we're trying to get some type of assistance so that we can get help with taking care of our mom, especially because she has Alzheimer's. And I know with Alzheimer's, you know, we just need some guidance on things that we can do, you know, as far as getting somebody to come out and show us things. Because right now we don't want to place her in a nursing home because, like I say, it's 3 siblings. Now, we all take our time to take care of her, but it's just getting to the point where it's getting hard on each and every one of us. And we're at the age where we have to work. So, you know, I was just trying to find out if there's anything out there where someone could come out and just assist us or just, you know, talk to us about some things.
So, just to clarify, are you wanting some training or education about how to manage a person with dementia, or are you looking for someone to come in and relieve you so that you can go to work?
Did you hear that, Tricia?
Yes.
So which one are you looking for? Would you like training, or would you like somebody to come in and relieve you?
Well, probably to relieve us, because we've been doing this now for 5 years, if not longer. And sometimes it gets hard on each and every one of us. And sometimes just somebody that we could leave our parents with, somebody to relieve us at times.
Yeah, so a caregiver to come into your respective homes and look after mom while you're at work or doing the things that you need to do. So interesting enough, there I don't know if this is exactly where you're going or not, but I was looking at, there's some resources, because the caregiving, the stress of being a caregiver, people don't really understand it until they do it themselves. There are a lot of resources available in our community, especially if you live in the Davidson County or surrounding counties. Age Well Middle Tennessee is a great resource. They actually have an elder care coach program. It's eldercarecoach.org. And you can get I think they do some counseling for free or some low-cost counseling. And then certain support groups like Alzheimer's.com has the communityresourcefinder.org. There are resources out there specific to caring for people with dementia. You can find support groups. Sometimes you just need that counseling. And if you want to hire caregivers, looking to say, what are my caregiver options in the community? Who actually knows how to take care? There's no shortage of care companies. It's talking to the care company to make sure they actually have caregivers when you want them. Now, how do they get paid for is back to using mom and dad's resources, their income. And if we're depleted of assets, if there's not assets to be used to pay for caregivers, then the TennCare Choices home and community-based services is a valid option to provide some in-home caregiving hours. The caregivers, there is a home and community-based program. Sorry, got tongue-tied. They will assess the individual and provide hours of support, and the family caregivers work in conjunction with that, so you could tell them what hours you needed those them to staff.
And one place you would look would be the equity in the home. So she didn't say this, but let's say Tricia's parents do have a home, they have equity in it. Often people that age have paid off their home. Now maybe they've taken out a second mortgage or whatever, but there would be some equity. And now, let's say they don't want to lose their home. What about people that are worried about losing their home? How do you leverage what you need to leverage and maybe not lose your home?
Well, I think you're talking about a reverse mortgage. If you're a line of credit, you'd have to have an income stream sufficient to pay the expense of the line of credit. A reverse mortgage, you actually have to be living in the home, 62 and older, own the home, or at least have sufficient equity in the home. But it sounded like in Tricia's case, mom and dad was moving around to the various children is what I heard.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong about that. But they could still own a home and still be living with children because of their care needs. So you're not obligated to sell your home to use the TennCare benefit, but you could, if you wanted to continue to pay privately, you could pull out some equity, buy a reverse mortgage.
A reverse mortgage.
It's not my first line. It's never my first line of recommendation for someone, but it is a bona fide option if you want to stay in your home and you've used your other liquid resources. And you do not, some people do not want to use public benefits. They do not want to use the TennCare program for whatever reason, different ideas that you could use that
let's go to another call here. Let's go to Eldon. Hello, Eldon.
How you doing?
I'm all right. What's on your mind? Go right ahead.
Well, I just wanted to make comments. I'm watching your program here on 5 Plus, and yes, sir. Well, Mr. Barris,
All right, go right ahead, Eldon. Go right.
All right.
You might have to turn down your TV.
Grandfather was
Okay, go ahead.
My great grandfather was a World War I veteran. My grandfather was World War II.
Okay.
I'm a Vietnam veteran, and my dad was Korea.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow. That's an incredible, and on this day, which Pearl Harbor Day, I mean, thank you for your service. I mean, that's amazing. Your family has done so much.
And, I am proud to say America has changed a lot of things to take care of our veterans, including me.
Good.
Do you feel like it's doing a better job?
Yes, sir. With a little more administrative guidance and more, I don't know how you put more heart into what you guys are doing, but there needs to be a little more heart.
Okay. Eldon, thank you. Thank you. All right, there's somebody, good grief, that amount of service in his family, that's
amazing.
Remarkable. And we're all appreciative. How could that, what might that mean? If you heard that, if that person came into your office, he mentioned that kind of service, how could that help him as far as what we're talking about?
Well, unless you were I'm trying to think about the history and the family history of service. It's certainly something to be proud of. Unless you're a dependent child of a service member, there's not historical credit. It's on your own service time. So certainly, if Eldon would qualify, it sounds like he does, for veteran benefits. Veteran benefits could be service-connected, non-service connected, and there also is health care benefits that would supplement or work conjunctively with Medicare, where he could get his health care coverage there. So we would explore all of those options. Sounds like he's already getting benefits, but if he was someone coming in to the office from the beginning, we'd look at his service time, when he was in, when he got out, was there any service-connected injuries? Incidentally, Vietnam probably has one of the longest lists of presumptive conditions. If he's actually served in country Vietnam, you'd look for that service-connected disability. And part of the reason you look for service-connected disability as opposed to non-service-connected disability has to do with there's not an asset limit. If you can actually connect the current disability to their wartime service, to their military service, then it's not means tested.
Interesting. Okay. All right, Eldon, thank you for that call. Thank you. All right, we're going to take a break. If you want to call in with a question or just to share your situation and others can benefit from it, there's a number, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.